Free at last! Free at last! Thank the gaming gods almighty! Hideo Kojima is free at last. From the confines of the once mighty and much revered and respected Konami. Now just hashtag fuck Konami. Konami, who decided to go and turn heel and say fuck you to the entire gaming industry, fuck you to all the fans, and fuck you to all of the developers who made us into the company that we are today. They decided that going and doing tons of blow and banking in on pachinko is the way of the future. Man, that mobile gaming, that's the only thing we're concerned with, and all the outside endeavors that they decide to go and toss their fucking money at. But gaming, nah, they have no interest in that anymore. They could give a fuck less. But Hideo Kojima has been dragged along in this. It's been a tumultuous year for him. You figure that he was in a no-compete clause contract with Konami, so being under contract with them, it's not like he could go and do his own thing. Can't say what he wants to, and they've been fucking with him badly. And anybody who used to work for the company doesn't have much good to say about them. And understandably so, when you got to find out the working conditions, which within a year's time, you got to see them do such a 180. Now Hideo Kojima, one of the most well-known people associated with the company, is now gone and forming his own studio. So mark this date in your calendars, December 15th. Hideo Kojima is finally just like, gonna spread my wings and fly. Little P-Wing starts flying in the air and shit. And he's in talks with Sony Computer Entertainment. Now, there's other things to keep in mind. Konami just recently shut down a studio in Los Angeles. Why? Because they're a fucking shitheel company. Like I said, they turned heel. They're saying fuck you to everything. They're doing as many dastardly deeds as they can, throwing anybody that they can tied up onto a fucking railroad track and being like Snipely Whiplash. Yeah! So they shut that shit down, but that studio is working alongside Kojima's. And guess what? They were working on Metal Gear Solid, so I'm sure that he'll bring them into the fold. Maybe some ex-employees of Konami who just had enough of their shit, or currently are working there, who could decide, you know what, I'm going to accept this pink slip and move on up. Moving on up to Kojima's side? Yeah, fuck it. Moving on up. That works, right? But he's in talks right now with getting a studio together and with Sony. Now, this could mean a number of things. This doesn't necessarily say that he's strictly going first-party Sony only, and it's going to be just exclusive. This could be that they're the first company that he's approaching with an idea, concept, some game that he wants to go and toss at them. He could be going third-party, which would make the most sense for Kojima to do, but any studio would want to go and say, hey, come over here. We'll give you whatever the fuck you need. You figure first-party Kojima, that should work out great. He could go and pick up tons of past licenses or even current licenses that they have right now and work on those, or he could finally not have to do strictly just Metal Gear Solid titles and start working on tons of other games. You figure he could actually oversee multiple different projects within a large enough studio and then work on one primarily. If he's going to be working with just Sony, I mean, that actually makes the fucking PlayStation 4, assuming it's all exclusive, that makes the PlayStation 4 look that much better for a lot of fans out there. You figure that's a fucking, that's like a diamond in the rough. Like, oh shit, look what we have now. But that's what you need. You need to go and take artistically talented, creative people and just let them do their thing. They kept them, over at Konami, they kept them confined. They're just, cracking that fucking whip and those shackles real tight. You're just going to be doing the same thing over and over again because this is all that we want out of you. Yeah, but I have this idea. Don't give a fuck what you want. We just want this. Just give us this. We like that namesake. And we're going to milk it until there's nothing coming out of that fucking teeth than goddamn dust in a memory. So, Kojima, you got your own studio. Now I'm interested in what you have plans for. You figure if you look through his track record of games that he's made over the years, there's all sorts of ways that he could go. I mean, Lunar Nights, Boktai the Sun is in Your Hand, Snatcher, Police Knots, Zone of the Enders, Metal Gear Solid. I mean, there's so damn many games that he's been directly affiliated with and worked on, and everything that I named off, there's a lot of variety amongst all of those. Personally, and I know it's not going to be the most popular thing, but I would like to see him return to something like Snatcher and Policenauts, because I really, really enjoy cyberpunk storytelling and a world that he created in that. Dude, it's fucking amazing. Granted, yes, I know plenty of people are like, yeah, but I mean, he took so many different things from movies all over the place. Yep, so did plenty of other games out there that I love to death. Like Silent Hill, for example, that takes all sorts of shit from things from like cinema history, but I don't give a shit because it did it so fucking well. That was a fucking impeccable game. Now Team Silent is everywhere. Hell, how about this? Me and Kojima. Maybe we could get PT to actually get greenlit yet again. You know, all you gotta do is get Del Toro back on, get Norman Reedus back on, get everybody back together and make this shit happen. Now that I think about it, holy fuck, that would make a lot of sense. You figure, that was just called PT. You could just come forward and say, hey, we're legit making this thing happen. We don't give a fuck. We don't need them because they went and they shit canned it. Konami didn't like, oh, Silent Hills, oh, we're done with that. They don't need the namesake. They need the creative geniuses behind it, because the new name that they put out there will become the one that everybody is well versed with. So maybe we could have, maybe that'll be the first project. You figure that's the most recent thing that he is working on, with the exception of everything having to do with Metal Gear Solid. But think about that. We could get Silent Hills. Technically, we could get Silent Hills. So that might be happening. I'm going to wait. Sure enough, if that ends up getting confirmed, people are going to lose their fucking minds, myself included, because I really like that demo. Sure, there's going to be Silent Hill purists out there who will say, you know, yeah, but it wasn't this and it wasn't that, and da da da. But it looked fun. It looked interesting. It looked creepy. It looked fucked up. And it was just an interactive trailer. That's all. Just imagine what they would do with a full-fledged game. You figure this dude has a proven track record of success in all the titles that he has worked on. Anything that he's touched has turned out to be pretty goddamn good, if I do say so myself. There's a reason that he's become as well known as he has. And it's not because of, like, dumb bullshit. And by the way, the tweets that he goes and he puts out there are pretty goddamn fucking funny. The Dead or Alive one, that one made me chuckle. I had to go and retweet that shit. But, honestly, dude, the fact that you're free from them, you don't have to go and be treated like shit anymore by a company like that you did so much for, you figure that's really fucked up. You know, we're angry for him, but just think about how jaded that could leave some people. You know, that would make some folks just say, you know, I just want to wash my hands of the gaming industry. Left such a bad taste in my mouth, fucking done. Konami, hashtag fuck Konami. Konami is like the dirtiest dick right now in terms of the gaming industry. I mean, how do you get worse than Electronic Arts? You managed to do that. Electronic Arts was always viewed as being like one of the worst fucking companies out there. They do good here and there, and they used to be fucking impeccable way back in the day, and one of the best goddamn companies, but then they just kind of became turds. So nobody really wants to deal with turds. Just lots of turds. Yes, I'm going to have to extend the erds part. But Konami, hashtag fuck Konami, you are now worse than Electronic Arts, and you're only getting worse. You decided to go and bring back Bomberman. Good on you, right? I was like, oh man, they finally paid attention to the fact that they own the Hudson properties, and you made it a mobile phone game. We could have had Saturn Bomberman on current consoles and PC, but you went and decided to do something lame as fuck. We could have had another Bomberman adventure RPG type game, which would be fucking cool as hell, with the traditional tried and true Bomberman gameplay as, like, you know, multiplayer type shit. No, you didn't do that. You just made a fucking dumbass mobile game and shut down studios and just fucking pachinko everything. Metal Gear Solid pachinko. Oh man, that's gonna be great. Blades of Steel. I love that game, by the way. Blades of Steel and Track and Field pachinko. Yes, that's right. That's gonna be all pachinko all the time. Zone of the Enders, you want a third title? We don't need Kojima. We've got pachinko. Mega Rain, bitches. That's all I see from them. Wait, I know that you really like that Turtles in Time game. Well, how about Turtles in Pachinko? It wouldn't even surprise me. It really wouldn't. I mean, we already have Castlevania, Pachinko. Like, it's just, I don't get it. Erotic fucking violence and shit. Like, you guys are out of your fucking minds. But I just want them to sink. I do. I want them to sink, I want them to sell off their franchises. I would like Kojima to go and scoop up Metal Gear, own the property, own everything associated with it, but considering the fact that ever since MSX, he's been the reason why it became a crown jewel over at Konami, but they don't even want to fucking do anything nice for him. I mean, they even snubbed him at some awards show, like a bunch of bitches. But were you scared of the fact that he could come out and be like, thank you to everybody, but these ass clowns right here. You had man, you guys fucking suck. But Kojima, I'm proud to say that you are now free at last. That's pretty fucking awesome news. I think everybody can celebrate. And now we play the waiting game where we get to see what you're going to work on, what you're going to reveal, showcase to the entire world. Is it going to be at E3? Is it going to be at Tokyo Game Show? Is it going to be Silent Hills? Is it something new? Is he going to do like a spiritual successor to one of the franchises that he already made? Or is this going to be something that he never got to work on and try something completely and utterly different and try to change the landscape of gaming as we know it? Who the fuck knows? Otherwise, I'm looking forward to the future because that'll be really cool. Is he working exclusively with Sony, or are they just the first people that he approached when in discussions of, here's some titles I'm going to work on? Either way, this is AlphaOmegaSin. As always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on.